Hi, hello everybody. I'm really happy to be here today with you. I want to invite my dear panelists, Szymon Wałach from InPost, Mikołaj Wezdecki from LPP, and Karol from Empik. You already know Nima because he was there from Mastercard. Very happy to be here with you today. Thank you for accepting this invitation to be part of this panel. We are focusing on AI, and in particular thing we want to talk about is how AI will change e-commerce. I want to start with Nima, actually. I will start with you. Because when I was preparing myself for this panel, I thought, well, what is so different about AI? Because already in Mastercard you collect thousands of data. You have data from the scheme, from issuers, acquirers, the whole network. And the quality of this data matters also in terms of using AI. I just want to ask you how using quality input, how to feed AI with quality data in order to implement innovations for the financial payment sector in Mastercard.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, cybersecurity is a major challenge for the world, but it's also a singular focus for us. So any given year, we analyze about 143 billion transactions. And we've been using AI for a couple of decades to do that. And part of it is understanding the context of the transaction. So not just how it's being done, but where it's being done, why it's being done. Does it make sense? And so machine learning for 2 decades has helped us identify that. And we're able to defend against billions, actually north of $25 billion of fraud a year. Now we're looking to see how do we take that one level further, and generative AI gives us the ability to bring in another lens. It's another type of model, and so we've just launched a product that looks in an additional 1 trillion data points a year, and it's helping us improve what was already a very effective method by 20 to 30% in terms of fraud detection. Now the balance, of course, is you also need to ensure the consumer experience is a good experience. So when we think of declines, a transaction that doesn't go through, 2/3 of declines are false declines. So we're also trying to improve how do we ensure that we're letting the good transactions through, identify the user, the intent. There's a lot of different data points, but yeah, it's quite a lot of data and keeps us busy for sure.
Yeah, and coming back to this very important part, the customer, yeah? It's all about making our services better with high quality and good user experience. I would like to ask Mikołaj how you implemented AI in terms of customer service in LPP. If you see that it's because many companies are implementing, for example, bots in order to answer the questions from the cardholders or for the transactions in contact centers, and sometimes people said, okay, but still I want to talk with a human because the quality of the answers, maybe we have like a hit rate of a lot of answer calls, but is the case really solved? Are the customers satisfied at the end with the quality of the service? So I would like to ask you if you already started this journey of implementation, the customer service processes based on AI.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Let me start just at the beginning because lots of people think about AI as a ChatGPT, yeah? Like AI equals ChatGPT. It is not true because in LPP we are using several dozens of AI different tools, yeah? So in areas customers experience in our contact center, even in this small area we are using a couple of tools, and at the end of the day. We are able to achieve the situations that more than 50% of contacts from customers are answered by different type of AI tools. Thanks to that, the customers are able to get their answer quicker because waiting for person to answer the call or to answer the email it takes much more time. And this is, of course, the area of customers. And from our company perspective, we have less work to do. Every time that customers is answering or giving us any inquiry, any questions, we are always getting feedback from the customers, yes. And I promise you that current NPS is from the bot, from the answers of the bots, from the AI, is very close or similar to the answers from the true people. So I think that this technology is growing, it is developing. So from the customer perspective, there is no difference.
Thank you. And staying again with the customer, because I really like to dig into this experience part. Karol, you with Empik, you are working on giving the best customer experience based on the product placement on the marketplace. You have every day you have the challenge to introduce new products and to, let's say, making a match between the customer needs and the products actually offered on the marketplace. Do you see any space for AI also here to help in these daily processes?
Yeah, hi. So actually, that's a very good question. So we see the space and we are playing around to actually start leveraging that. Some things are at the POC phase, some things are already implemented. So maybe two important things. One, marketplace became like a big pillar of our strategy, constituting now like 1/3 of our whole e-commerce business. So actually that drives a bit of a scale. So we are trying to add like 500,000 new products every month at least. Yeah? So it's not possible to manage by human hand, and everyone working on that. So actually we have AI tools trying to find errors between products, looking for missing information in the internet. So for example, if there's a merchant providing us a product page or providing us some information with missing, dimensions, product specifications, there are AI tools actually scanning the web to provide that information and build nice product pages. Yeah? So that's actually live. We are working on that and how to scale it up. Second thing, actually, we're looking for errors. Something, name the product differently, classify it differently under the product trees. For someone, the same product is a toy. For someone, it's a book. So there's also an AI engine trying to actually fix those mistakes and have one product catalog organized. Yeah. For that, we are also trying to develop a tool, and this is like the POC. We're working on some partners here to actually build the product pages, optimized, customer optimized, based on the AI engine, leveraging the data and also how the others are building that in the internet. Yeah? So this probably will take some time, but like the first results suggest this is a worth path actually to try and play around with. Yeah. And maybe to the customer part you mentioned, because this is about the offer, and then it's all about making customer actually interested in the offer and in the end make a purchase and be happy with that. So we are also playing around with building recommendations, but not only on the kind of trying to predict what the customer would like to buy, but also what may be his interest. And that's quite important because at Empik we have 1/3 of Poles coming to buy gifts. Yeah? And very often for people they don't know, or like grandma, kids, whatever, and having no idea what the gift should be. So actually we are playing around with AI tools to actually find the product recommendations, not for the person based on their behavioral activities on the site and so on, but also on the others. So building like the recommendations on the products for different segment groups, learning in the process of working with the customers, and giving this gift recommendation, which is a bit different. And actually, first results suggest the conversions on that recommendations based on AI versus kind of the category manager or someone working on that could be 5, 6, 7 times higher actually than when the person did that. Yeah, there's some data required actually to make it work, but we see that there is a potential in that as well. Yeah.
Well, that's impressive. The numbers you said, it's really high. In e-commerce, we cannot forget about the checkout. We cannot forget about the deliveries and the supply chain behind it. So, Szymon, question for you. From InPost perspective, you are like the giant on the Polish market, a leader, and probably creating new trends. In terms of logistics, in terms of supply chain management, you already have maybe some paths, or you're trying to implement some solutions based on AI?
Yes, hello everyone. It's probably not a surprise that InPost is part of many machine learning and also AI implementation. We're also part of some global pilots as being just among few companies from Poland that are part of them to use it on an everyday basis. But if you think about InPost and our revolution, I mean, it's driven by three factors. One, we deliver a unique user experience that includes the next day delivery promise, that brings the economies of scale for stores, and also something which is really close to our hearts. At InPost, we reduce the carbon footprint. So we do want to have a positive impact on the environment around us. And AI and machine learning models are being deployed across all of these elements. So clearly, the element of understanding clients, you might be more likely to pick up your packages in the morning. I'm probably the person that does pick up when I actually come back from my work. So all of these elements, making sure that maybe a heavy package should be put in a lower compartment vis-a-vis higher ones. All of these are elements that we do in order to constantly keep our consumers at highest level of satisfaction. And with NPS at 80 points, I think we're doing pretty well on that front. Obviously, economies of scale are critical in our business in order to deliver efficiently, which means models are being run across every single activity. I mean, everything what we do from the moment we take a package or even before is an element where we do have heavy forecasting using external data also, weather, road conditions, pretty much everything we can take into the model in order to properly plan how many people we need for a certain peak, how many cars, what will be the roads. All of this is being optimized by machines. And last but not least, but actually thinking constantly how we can improve the carbon footprint, how we can have a less impact on the environment, is also done with the support of advanced machines. Now, that's probably things that you could imagine, but where I want to take you a little bit to the glimpse to the future, I believe we are not really far from the moment where once the infrastructure will be right, we can imagine, I mean, drones really delivering packages, and it's not a science fiction, it's just a matter of timing and having the right infrastructure to manage it. The same with robotics. I mean, some of you might have actually seen presentation of NVIDIA recently. It's coming. These robots will be intelligent and they will be supporting us on everyday occasions, and that includes also our business. And also a better planning, being smarter, that means using digital twins to better plan the layouts, not only of roads, but also the facilities you run. Or having AI models. So I forgot something we also do where AIs are actually challengers to our AIs or machine learning models already. So there is a constant fight for improvement using every single technology.
Okay, and going into the more deep into this thing about the infrastructure you said, I think it's crucial. I want to ask you, Nima, because I was thinking like building one autonomous car that will go around within many people on the intersection probably will be a big failure. So in order for AI to really take over, to step in, we need to build like a system, a solution, a systematic solution that will, for example, let these cars go around with intersections that are integrated. I just want to ask you from Mastercard perspective, because you are the integrator, right? You have all the issuers, acquirers integrated around the world. You make it possible that I can make a payment like within a second. So you think like the biggest threat or the biggest challenge for the AI will be building like sufficient infrastructure in order to make it a real change? Because as we did the blockchain, we implemented some blockchain processes, But in order to make it global, to make it like a new economic revolution, we need the systematic solution that is broad and wide, right? How you think about it?
Yeah, so it is a network question and challenge, and we think of it as really not if, but when. And the when, of course, is very hard to determine, because what we're talking about here is really a world of perception AI. You need cameras and instruments and sensors to be able to take all that data and then, yes, network it and coordinate it across, whether it's autonomous driving or drone deliveries, et cetera, right? So it'll probably take a little bit longer to get there. So we already do have the technology. We see the technology to automate a lot of things. But to coordinate that on a global level or even on a city level will probably take a little bit more time. And it's an interesting network challenge. I mean, for us, it's, building the infrastructure to have that volume of data and that coordination is something we've always done. Now, when you open it up to every device, every machine, and the rest of the planet, it's it's an exponentially larger task, and it's probably further away as a result.
Yeah, and another challenge that I'm thinking of, it will be probably the question for Mikołaj, about the human force, because with every economic revolution, with automatization of the work, there is a threat that some people will go out of the market because some skills will be no longer needed. But in order to maintain this AI infrastructure, we will need highly skilled people. Maybe they will not answer the emails to the client needs in customer service, but somebody needs to work with algorithms, with the data. Do you think that this might be a challenge, or we are already trying to educate the people in a way that they will go with the new flow and build these new skills needed to work with AI?
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. The biggest issue and biggest bottleneck in terms of using AI is not the technology, because as I mentioned at the beginning, there is a plenty of technology that you are using AI models. We are experiencing lack of people that can use this technology. Let me give you one example. Currently, we are looking for example, prompt engineer. Prompt engineer is the person who are able to talk with the AI, that are building, writing prompts, and are able to understand how the AI model is working with the tool. And we are not able to find that kind of people. They are very expensive. And what we decided in LPB is just to build some kind of AI hub. And we are trying, or we will build this competence internally in our organizations. What I mean is that we will be planning to hire students, and we will just internally learn them this new skill or new even type of work, which is prompt engineer. So this is the way that we are going, just to build these competences internally in our organizations, because we cannot find these competences on the market.
One, last but not least, but very important part of implementing and adoption of AI is regulation. In European Union, we are always trying to regulate every aspect. I'm from payment world, so I know the PSD2 very good, but in terms of AI, we also having introduction of the AI Act. Szymon, it's a question for you. Do you see this regulation as a showstopper, as a threat for a fast developing of the AI technologies? Or maybe on the other side, it's something that is really needed in order to make it work more efficient, to be safe, for the customers, for the companies to use?
Sure, I think Jack Ma had a saying that you Europeans, you worry too much, you worry, and you don't do. In China, we do, and then we worry. And look, we are nowhere in that AI race as Europe, as a continent, and the only area where we want to excel in AI race is regulation. That's not a recipe for success. So. It's not even regulation, I would say, where I think the biggest challenge is regulators, meaning regulators who will not over-regulate or actually even not only on the European level, but even worse on local level, in order to just say, okay, we are safer than the rest of the Euro, but that will not drive, let's say, higher adoption. Poland will celebrate 35 years since becoming independent. I mean, over that time, we have experienced enormous growth. I mean, that's a unique achievement to have a GDP growth for 35 years on a global scale. But what took us here won't get us there. Like, we need a new strategy, and Poland has a unique opportunity, being a talent hub for technology, for developers, to actually be part of that AI race. But for that, we need actually regulators thinking how to build accelerators, how to regulate and stimulate infrastructure development, like 5G networks, in order for that entire ecosystem really to flourish, how to double the capacity of universities to actually educate more engineers. Look, at InPost, we had the same struggle. I mean, but I would say competence centers for AI usage are almost mandatory, meaning we do monitor and asking why people did not attend. Because this is part of your job to actually be at the edge with the latest technology, and we believe, like, if you are not using, you cannot imagine what you can deliver on top of it.
And also with the regulation and the data comes the topic of personal data, right? Using AI, we gain a lot of data of our customers, of our users. And people ask questions like, is my data safe? What they're doing with it? How they analyze it? It's maybe a question of ethics as well, like on to which extent we can use it to propose a good user experience. And when we cross the line that some part of human behavior, for example, in e-commerce transactions, is something like they should keep for themselves, and we are not able to use it. Karol, if you can briefly comment on how you address the personal data challenge in Empik.
Yeah. So as Szymon mentioned, like, regulatory is key here. Like, in the end, AI will be as good as the data it has to actually work on. And there's a lot of third-party external data, but actually the first-party e-commerce data on the behavioral personalization or like kind of the interest purchasing patterns, that's what add the flavor, yeah, for the models. Yeah? And here comes, especially when we are talking, for example, about this use case of gifting. Yeah? So how can I combine what I may be looking for with what others for similar cases are looking for externally and make it all together? So there's a big question about regulations, there is a big question about infrastructure, and also there's one more challenge, especially for omnichannel retailers, about offline data, yeah? Because at least at Empik, we're kind of like 50-50 online, offline, so we have also a challenge how the offline part, offline data, offline customer behavior should also be a part of that equation and also feed into AI to actually learn this, 50% of the behaviors of our customers. And here actually we're working on a very interesting project with Mastercard to figure out what the Empik of the future should look like, kind of to make the data work across the channels a bit better, right? So right now we are waiting for the regulations, so I guess like everyone sees that there are more limitations that actually things helping to kind of propel the use cases forward. But definitely what we learned that it is even more important right now to really focus on being GDPR compliant, marketing consent compliant, all the changes being developed on the market to actually start collecting the data. Even if you are not able or allowed to use it right now, it's good to set up a proper data infrastructure and the framework to actually start doing that once we are there mentally, regulatory, and organizationally across industries and companies, right? So I think we are before this big kind of uptake of the development pace for that, but it's important to be ready, yeah?
Okay, actually we ran out of time. Thank you very much again for taking part in this panel discussion. For our audience, I think it's worth remembering that it's all about the quality, about the experience, about the data, because at the end, what we put in, we get out, and that's how it's work even with the AI. Thank you guys a lot. It was a pleasure to have you here. And for the rest of you, I hope the next sessions will be also very inspiring. And see you at the networking later on. Thank you.